Hello and welcome to the Vinyl Sanctuary. My name is Christian and I hope that you will join me in taking refuge in records. So I'm here today with another job lot video. This is my third video of that type and it's the third job lot that I've ever bought in terms of being a vinyl collector, which I've been doing for a good few decades now. So I've decided to explore a new way of collecting records, acquiring them, and it's been a really enjoyable experience. So I've already done a couple of videos on job lots if you're new to the channel. So if you like what I do today, then please do consider sticking around and giving those two videos a watch as well. The first job lot that I acquired was from a chap over in Manchester, which is very close by to me. The second job lot was from somebody in Leeds, and then this video here, the one that I'm going to be doing today, is the furthest away from me geographically, all the way down in Norwich, so a good while away from where I am, up in the northwest of England. So yeah, it was a great job lot. I'm very happy with it. I think I've got 14 here in total to show, 5 of which I've decided to move on as things currently stand, but I've learned from a couple of other videos I've done that you can be quite a persuasive bunch when it comes to stating cases as to why maybe records should not be moved on. So I would be interested to find out from anybody who wants to comment on what you think of my decisions to maybe let a few of these records go. In one case, it's a duplicate, so it's a really easy decision to make because I already owned it. And then there's 4 others, I think, which I'm interested in them, but again, it's kind of trying to decide whether or not I would, have bought them out in the wild or whether they would be ones I would particularly gravitate towards. So I'm a little bit undecided on them, so I'd be interested to find out what you think of them. And then the other 9 are definite keepers. I've already got them catalogued, polished up, on the shelving in the correct place that they should be, as I do all of my ordering here alphabetically. It's the only way that I can work. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to find anything. Okay, so yeah, I've been really looking forward to putting this video together actually. I've mentioned a few times now that I don't know how many job lots I'm going to be purchasing or doing in the future moving forward. As I mentioned just before, it's a very new terrain for me, but I have enjoyed doing it and I'm glad that I decided to take the plunge and experience it. So yeah, without any further ado, we'll get into it. I'll show you what I've got here from the dealer in Norwich. So these were purchased through eBay, and I was able to agree a really good fee with the seller, a fee that we were both mutually very happy with, and postage and packaging was included as well, which was imperative really because of the distance that I am from Norwich. It was great that I was able to get that particular part of the deal struck. I didn't have to go down and do a collection only or anything like that. Otherwise, I think it would have put me out of the race, to be honest, because of it being so far away from me. So yeah, I'm really happy with these records. So there's a few of them that I have had a chance to listen to. I've had quite a few things going on of late, work-wise and other stuff as well. But I have managed to play a few of them, and there's a few here that I've never heard before. I've heard of them but never heard them. So again, really interested to find out in the comments what you think of what I'm about to show. And as always, I just thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. So we'll get into the records now, and then I'll just do a quick sort of summary at the end just to close the video off. Okay, so starting us off today, then we've got a record here from 1973. So I'm going to be showing you the ones first which I'm planning to let go of. This one here is the duplicate, so it is definitely going. I'll probably just let it go for a couple of quid. I've mentioned a few times now in my other job lot videos, I'm planning to get a market stall together with my wife, and we're going to put some records together that I've had in previous lots and just move those on. So starting us off here then today, we've got Pinups here by Bowie. So this was from 1973, and I believe that's Twiggy there on the front cover with David Bowie. Twiggy, of course, being an icon of the fashion movement, certainly one of the UK's most famous and prominent ever models. So yeah, a really good album. It's a covers album, but the version that I've got now in the collection, I would say the one that I got in the job lot is in better nick, better quality than the one I've got here. As you can see, this one is a little bit tired. It's a bit beaten up. It's got a rip there, unfortunately, on the cover, but the record itself plays fine. This copy here that I'm showing you, I had this in the collection for ages and ages. I bought this actually from a flea market when I was probably about 14, something like that. So I've had it for a long, long time, but the time is ready now to let it go because I've managed to get myself a nice upgrade courtesy of this job lot from Norwich. So yeah, really nice album, this one, for anybody who's not aware of it. I do enjoy it a lot. In terms of favourites, I do tend to list favourite tracks. Sorry, when I'm showing these records off, that's something that I tend to do with all my videos. Again, that's more just knowledge for people that might be new here. So which do I like on here? So I Can't Explain, obviously the Who track. Really enjoy that one. There's a really nice version of See Emily Play on here, which was originally done by Pink Floyd. And that's probably my favourite era of Pink Floyd, the Syd Barrett era, but I am tentatively getting into a little bit more of the later stuff as well. And what else do I like on here as well? Yeah, Where Have All the Good Times Gone, which is a Kinks track. But yeah, it's strong all the way through. I mean, side two there, track one, Friday on My Mind, and Easy Beats, brilliant sort of garage rock of that one. Great original version and a really good cover on here as well. But I think one that I would recommend people to check out on Pinups is the track Sorrow, which I do like a lot. It's got a lovely, just a lovely mood to that number, and I love Bowie's vocal performance on it as well. I mean, he's strong throughout, but I do particularly enjoy listening to him on Sorrow, and I would advise people to check out See Emily Play as well. So that's getting us started today. Here we've got Pinups by Bowie. Okay. Right, so I've got here now another, let's see, is it four? My maths are right, yeah. Four that I'm planning to let go of, and then I'll be showing you the nine, which I'm most definitely going to be keeping. So just before I get into them again, I mean, I've mentioned it on previous videos. It's not that I've got anything against these albums or anything like that. I mean, in the case here, I'm actually a huge fan of a band that is directly associated to this group. So people might be immediately wondering, well, why on earth are you thinking of getting rid of them then? That sounds like a rather foolish thing to do. And I appreciate that. But again, I've just got to think about space here. I've got to think about a few different things. And, the idea of maybe them going to a home where they would be better appreciated, perhaps, that is something that to me feels quite important, rather than sticking onto it or holding onto it because it's a nice to have. I'd much rather keep things that I know I'm going to be really, really engaged with and invested in, and just giving somebody else out there a chance to acquire something for themselves, for a few quid, which for them could be an album that they've been after for ages. So that's kind of the approach that I'm going into it with. But I am also always open to people, putting a case forward as to maybe why I should keep hold of it or whatever. So, okay, so coming up next, I've not heard any of these ones before, by the way. We've got David Coverdale with North Winds. David Coverdale, of course, being the vocalist there, started in Deep Purple and then went on to being Whitesnake as well. A little bit more of them in a moment, so humongous spoiler there for you. So yeah, North Winds, I don't know anything about the record, not played it or anything. The condition of all these records, by the way, in the job lot are lovely, really nice. So I can't mention favourites or anything on here because I've not actually played them. So there's that one there. Just move through these ones pretty quickly. Check if there's an original inner on here to show you as well. No, it doesn't look like there is. But just got the purple label there as well. I tend to show inners off as well, and gatefolds and that kind of stuff, lyric sheets if anything's included. Okay, so the next one, again, a record here I'm not familiar with at all, but looking to move on, is one called Jules and Brian, and that is Julie Driscoll and Brian Auger and the Trinity. So I think I've heard of Brian Auger's name somewhere from way back when. I might be mistaken, but I think he's an organ player. I don't know where I may have come across his name before, but I've probably read about him at some point. His name, I mean, Brian Auger to me is quite a distinctive name, so I've definitely heard of him. Julie Driscoll, I'm not too sure about at all. I mean, I had a quick scan here of the track listing, and immediately Green Onions immediately stood out to me, obviously being a Booker T in the MG's track, organ brilliance. So I'm guessing that must be a version of that on here, which did intrigue me. But the more I thought about it, and with other stuff that I had in the lot, I thought quite happy to move that one along. So again, don't know anything about it, but if anybody's got any information, please do feel free to share in the comments. Is it a gatefold, that one? No, it isn't. And again, it's just a plain inner on that one there as well. Okay, nice big sturdy cover on that one there as well, just as a point of interest. Okay, and then the big spoiler that I just gave you there. So I've already showed you David Coverdale before. I've now got 2 Whitesnake records to show you as well, which I am looking to let go of. So the first one we've got here is Ready and Willing. I do love the front cover, I really do. I think that's excellent. So yeah, I mean, I'm not really familiar with Whitesnake, to be honest, at all. I mean, other than the the big, huge, famous numbers that pretty much everybody knows. But and I know that's probably really, really bizarre to people who've been following me for a while, because I am such a huge, huge Deep Purple fan. Like, I'm a massive Deep Purple fan. But if I'm being really, really honest, I'm kind of more for the Gillan era, really. Maybe I really do need to give Coverdale's era more of a chance, to be honest. But I don't have any Deep Purple albums in my collection that have got Coverdale singing. I'm sure, again, if people want to correct me on that, or guide me in the right direction, then please do. But it's the Gillan stuff for me that really lights me up. And the reason why I'm such a huge Deep Purple fan is because of the sheer brilliance of Ritchie Blackmore. I mean, I'm a guitar player, and I would I would love to be able to play like Ritchie Blackmore, put it that way. He's one of my guitar heroes. So again, I don't know anything about the record, so I can't really comment upon it. So this came out in, looks like it was 1980 here. It's on the United Artists label. See if it's got the original in it to it. I can't remember from when I looked. Yes, it does, from when I was checking the lot out. Seems like quite a while ago from when I actually gave them a check out. But again, mentioned it before, they're all in really lovely condition, these records. So yeah, it just doesn't feel like one that I'd be desperate to keep hold of. But if people want to again share, I'll probably say that a couple of times. I do like repeating myself. I just talk in the moment, I do, and tend to say things 2 or 3 times. So apologies for that if people don't like repetition. I think it just comforts me to mention it a few times and keeps me on track. So that's that one, Ready and Willing by Whitesnake. And then here's the final one that I'm looking to move on. It's another Whitesnake album, and it's called Come and Get It. So I'm not as keen on that cover as the other one. It looks a little bit more generic, that one, to me. Just my opinion. Some people might think it's a great cover. I mean, John Lord is on here on keyboards, and Ian Pace as well on drums, obviously from Deep Purple. Got Neil Murray on the bass guitar, Mickey Moody on guitars, great name that. Bernie Marsden on guitars as well. Yeah, nothing on there that is standing out to me that I may have heard. So that's another Whitesnake record there that was in the lot, and quite a similar inner to the other one, just in terms of its design execution. Those sort of moody black and white photographs of the band in performance. Coverdale there does look cool. So that's that one. Okay, so now that I've got that bit out of the way, the going through the stuff that I'm looking to move on, then we can get to the stuff here that I'm definitely keeping. So if you're still here with me at this point, if I've not offended anybody or upset anybody with my seeming disregard of Whitesnake and David Coverdale and anything that I've shown so far, then I appreciate you sticking around and giving me a chance. Thank you for that. Okay, so let's get to the ones now that I'm keeping. So yeah, really, really chuffed to bits with these. I really am very, very happy. The first one here intrigued me immediately. I'd never heard it. I've only managed to play side one of it since I've owned it, just because of other bits, as I mentioned before, that have been going on, and other lots which I've acquired as well. So the reason this one stuck out to me so much is because 2 of the members here who have put the album together played in Bob Dylan's group. They were members of Bob Dylan's ensemble when he recorded the absolute classic Highway 61 Revisited, and they were also part of his band that played the infamous Newport Festival gig where Dylan went electric as well. So that immediately drew me in. And then the other chap involved is another songwriter who I've got immense respect and all the time in the world for. So very happy to show this one off, but I've only played half of it. We have got here Super Session, And those two members of Dylan's group that I've just been referring to were Mike Bloomfield and Al Kooper. And Al Kooper went on as well to, he was in Blood, Sweat and Tears. And then, of course, that other amazing songwriter I was referring to is Stephen Stills from Buffalo Springfield, and of course, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. So, yeah, really, really pleased to have this one. Only listened to the first side, thoroughly enjoyed it. There's an excellent instrumental on there to kick things off called Albert Shuffle. Just really good guitar work on that by Bloomfield. And what else did I really enjoy on side one? Oh, His Holy Modal Majesty was excellent as well. But I need to get to side two as soon as I can. So what I'm looking forward to listening to on there. Yeah, there's a version of Season of the Witch on there as well, which is the Donovan track, and the version on here goes on for over 11 minutes. So I'm guessing that's going to be a real jam, that one. I'm just sort of holding it there like that, just because the ring light's getting in the way a little bit. So you can see there's some great photographs there of the trio littered around the edging there of the back. And let's just see again, yeah, just a generic sort of inner in there as well. Just, embassy. It's the original inner clearly because it's an embassy there, but it's just showing you various artists there on the back there. So yeah, a nice one that. Looking forward to finishing that one off, and a completely new experience for me. So very pleased to have it. Love the vibe of it on side one. Great organ playing on there, but the whole thing just sounds. It's just a really lovely mood and a bit of a vibe to it. I was super relaxed listening to that one. So very, very much looking forward to finishing it off. Okay, so getting to the next keeper. Absolute classic here. I had this one on CD. Love it to bits. Was delighted when I saw it featured in the lot. Released in 1967, which, for many of us rock fans is, one of the most hallowed years in music history. Be very interested in the comments for people to let me know where they would rank this record, not only as an all-time great, if indeed you do consider it to be one, or where you would rank it within that amazing outpouring of musical genius and from both sides of the Atlantic and all over the place during 1967. Where would you put it? I put it very highly. I do really love it. Wonderful power trio. Coming out the UK, we've got Cream with Disraeli gears. So I have listened to this copy since I acquired it. It went on pretty much straight away, just because I love the album so much. Always loved that front cover. Very interestingly, on my copy here, we've got stereo there, but then when you turn it over, yeah, it is there, just there. I don't know if I can get that in close enough, but I'll try to. We've got the word mono written just there, mono. Yeah, so that's interesting. Do believe it's a stereo pressing though, this one. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, it is. It's stereo. Says it on the label there, Atco there. Nice label. Yeah, so I love the album. I love Cream. I love the album. As you'd expect, you've got just sheer virtuosity in terms of instrumentation. Eric Clapton on guitar, Jack Bruce, awesome bass player, one of the greatest ever for me, and then the unmistakable percussion, drumming styles, of Ginger Baker, amazing drummer, jazz drummer, playing rock and bringing all kinds of different elements into his playing. Just a very unique player, such a huge inspiration. Certainly on the likes of Nick Mason from Pink Floyd and Stuart Copeland from The Police, among many others as well, have cited Ginger Baker as a drumming influence. So many out there. Speaking of Ginger Baker, one of my favourite tracks on here, just because I like the vibe of it, something a little bit different, a little bit unexpected, is Blue Condition, which closes side one off. That is a Ginger Baker track, and he, throat went a little bit croaky there. He performs the lead vocal on that as well, gives Jack Bruce a break. But I mean, there's so many other great ones on here. Strange Brew kicks us off. Sunshine of Your Love is brilliant. Dance the Night Away I enjoy a lot. Tales of Brave Ulysses, which opens up side two. Side two, I'm trying to remember, SWLABR. I think that stands for She Walks Like a Bearded Rainbow. I think that one. That's a good one as well. And then we get like this almost sort of slightly vaudevillian type vibe to the closing track, which is Mother's Laments as well. That's a little bit different as well. So yeah, really great album. Love Disraeli Gears. Very very pleased to have it. First time I've had it in the vinyl collection. So yeah, um, saw that in the lot and that immediately drew me in. And there's all that great artwork on the back there as well. Okay, right. So here's another one that I did have on CD. Not had a chance to listen to this copy yet. I think it's certainly this is a repress. I'm pretty sure of it. Let's have a look. Yeah, 2008. So yeah, it's fairly recent-ish repress, given that the album originally came out in 1970. Great songwriting. Truly great band. Love these guys. You know, when I'm in the mood for them, but a bit of sort of swampy, bluesy, country rock, you just can't beat these guys. And this is a fab album, and I'm certainly looking forward to getting the chance to put it on. We've got here Cosmo's Factory by Creedence Clearwater Revival. Always love that front cover as well. So distinctive, that cover. Great stuff. And then some photographs of the band on the back. So yeah, hopefully at the moment, people watching, I'd be interested to see how you're rating the current lot in terms of quality, albums that are being shown. Are these the types of records that you would gravitate towards? Maybe you've already got them in your collection, or are you thinking that it's not your cup of tea? Please do let me know. Music is purely subjective, so won't be offended in any way, shape, or form if these are not your cup of tea. But maybe you could tell me what would be in your dream lot if you had the chance to cherry pick some. So yeah, arranged and produced by John Fogerty. I mean, the songwriting on here is this has got some of my favourite Creedence tracks on here. I love Run Through the Jungle. Before You Accuse Me, great song. Love that one. Ooby Dooby's on here as well. Up Around the Bend, what a tune to start side two off. Oh, He'll Stop the Rain as well. Yeah, one of my favourite Creedence tracks. And then, of course, this is the version, or the album, I should say, that's got an unbelievably great version of I Heard It Through the Grapevine on here as well. Goes on for over 11 minutes. An absolutely epic cover of the Marvin Gaye classic. So there we go, Cosmo's Factory. So if you're not aware of Creedence, as I mentioned, sort of swampy, bluesy, country, folky rock. I think I've covered about four different genres there, but that's Creedence for you. They've got quite a distinctive sound, just a lovely, tasty melting pot of lots of different influences, and just came up with an absolute bunch of bangers during their career. John Fogerty, genius songwriter, brilliant, great band as well. Okay, now the next one, super interested in this one. So after I played Cream earlier, Disraeli Gears, gave that one a spin, loved it. I then followed it up with this one here, which, oh wow, what a trip, loved it. So I did know of it, I knew it beforehand. It was an album that I've played a lot in the past. I would refer to it as being like a nocturnal listen. It's like an album that I used to put on streaming to kind of drift off to when I wanted to try and nod off to sleep. But I never had it on CD, and I've never had it on vinyl until now. So this artist here came out of New Orleans, and it is a really vibe-led album. Came out in 1968. I've never heard anything quite like it before, so I'm delighted to have it in the collection. The instrumentation is so unique. The production on it is fabulous. It just sounds really clear, and all the little different nuances, all the little percussive elements, these very unusual, strange sounds that are being created through conventional instruments, but just being done in a really quite a bizarre way, quite an ominous way as well at times. It just creates a really cool mood. So definitely an album I would advise to listen to at night. Love the sort of the whispered, hushed vocal stylings on there, which I feel definitely went on to influence Tom Waits. This chap was out before Tom Waits, so I definitely hear some influence on Tom Waits in there, who I'm a huge fan of. But I'll just get on with showing you the cover and the album. So I'm talking now about Dr. John, the Night Tripper, and the album is called Gris-Gris. And there's that very should we say, a very unusual and quite an arresting photograph there of Dr. John. So there you go. And to be honest, I mean that cover pretty much does sum up the mood of the record. And then we've got Dr. John there on the back. And yeah, I had to do a bit of a double take because I mean, when I first looked on the back, I don't know if anyone else agrees, but I think that, I mean, obviously again, Dr. John was out first, but I think there's a bit of a resemblance to Robin Guthrie from the Cocktail Twins. When Robin went through that period when he had the beard and things a bit later on in the Cocktails career, he was clean shaven when they first came out and had that awesome hairstyle. I do think there's a slight look of Robin Guthrie there, but that might just be me. Okay, so yeah, it's just a brilliant album. As I mentioned, it's very again, it's very swampy. It sort of stirs up images of like the bayous, and you can almost feel like the heat rising off the grooves when it's playing. It just feels like quite trying to describe it in the best way that I can. I mean, it's certainly very mood driven, but there's like almost like a bit of a smoky, almost like a bit of a mysticism attached to it. Quite sort of spiritual in a way as well. Quite hypnotic. Yeah, just a really unique listening experience. So if anything I've said there has remotely piqued your interest, then please do just give it a try. Please listen to the whole album with this one as well. It's not very long. It's probably just a shade over half an hour or so. But if you did want to just dip your toe in and give a song a listen in isolation, then I would listen to the closing track, which is "I Walk on Gilded Splinters," which goes on for just under 8 minutes, and it is by far the longest track on the album. It's probably one of the most famous tracks by Dr. John as well. It's brilliant. It truly is just a great song, that one. But there was a few on here I enjoyed. I love the vibe of Mama Roo as well, which is track number 3 on side 1, and I really love the opening 1-2 on side 1 of Gris-Gris Gumbo Yaya is track number 1, and then it goes into Dance Kalinda Badoom as well, which was brilliant. So yeah, if you're looking for something a little bit exotic, a bit hypnotic, a bit different, maybe it'll stretch you out your comfort zone a touch, then please do give the Night Tripper Dr. John Gris-Gris a try. And just something of interest here, the album is called Gris-Gris, but the Night Tripper was like this character that Dr. John created. But on mine, well, I mean, Dr. John itself, the name is a character as well. But just on here, I don't know if you can see, but try and hold it up. So if you see that there, it actually says the Night Stripper on the label rather than Tripper. So there's a interesting typo there on that. There you go, Stripper on side 2 as well. So yeah, it is in stereo, beautifully produced, sounds great, and that is a late pressing as well. But yeah, originally came out in 1968. So I think this might be certainly from the 2000s. I think that pressing there. But yeah, delighted to have that. Definitely going to be playing that again soon. Might be one that I might listen to the next time we've got a downpour over here from my part of the world. Might be quite cool to stick that on with a bit of rain in the background and then maybe follow it up with some Tom Waits as well. So there we go, Dr. John. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so this record here might surprise a few people that I've never listened to it. It's quite shocking, really, because I mean, this band, I've known about them for so many years, and my in-laws, my wife are huge fans of this group as well, which I've mentioned on the channel before. But I do kind of feel like I'm playing catch up when it comes to their studio albums. I only have ever really known the big hits, the greatest hits, which I had in my vinyl collection, still have it, had it for years. But I think getting into the deep cuts now of this group is something that I'm really keen to do. And I've acquired now another album by this group. They've kind of appeared quite a couple of times recently. So the next one here to show is the Electric Light Orchestra. Get my words out properly, and that is self-titled. And I believe that's the debut as well, the debut album by ELO. So there's the inner there. Whoops. There we go. And I'll show you the gatefold here too. And yeah, this one cleaned up beautifully as well as the others did. They just all needed a bit of a clean, to be honest, these records. I got them at a really lovely price as well. So let's just hold that out for you first. So there's the front and back cover. Nice photographs there. Very stately looking room there that they're in. And then we've got the gatefold as well. So let me try and get all of that in for you. Hopefully my hands aren't in the way. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so I can't really talk about the album in any depth, I'm afraid, because I've not listened to it yet. I mean, it's got Roy Wood in here. Roy Wood, obviously, formerly of the Move, was in Wizard. Got Jeff Lynne on here as well, of course, who you know is the leader of ELO. Got Bev Bevan here as well, drums and percussion. Bill Hunt, French horn and hunting horn, and then we've got Steve Woolen on the violin as well. And it was recorded at Philips Studios in London. And it's got Hypnosis sleeve as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm aware of. Let me see. I'm aware of side one, track one at 10538 Overture. I do know that one. I've definitely heard that before. That one for me is probably more, should we say, present and prominent in my mind because the guitar riff of that, the very distinctive guitar line, was, I would say, borrowed by Paul Weller for his big hit, The Changing Man, which I think was 95, something like that. Which, I mean, I'm a huge Paul Weller fan, so I would have heard that riff. I mean, I've heard that song so many times over the years. And then I do remember once hearing 10538 Overture and thinking, oh, Paul Weller's caught that riff there, hasn't he? So, yeah, I know that one, but other than that, looking through, um, no, not really. I don't think so. Anyway, Mr. Radio maybe, but no, I'm looking forward to giving it a listen. You know, it's a blank. You know, us vinyl collectors, we can't profess to know everything, and you know we don't really, and us you know people who have these channels, you know, we don't know everything that's ever come out. You know, and are oracles, and I've certainly never professed to be one. But I do think for me, Electric Light Orchestra is a little bit of a gap in my knowledge, and it's one that I'm very much looking forward to filling because I've loved everything I've heard by them, and I don't know why it's taken me as long as it has to start acquiring some ELO for the collection. But in quite recent moments and times, I've acquired a few in pretty quick succession. So that's really nice, and I'm looking forward to exploring that band in more detail. But you know, for all you big ELO fans out there, how would you rate this album within their wider discography? You know, is it one of the better ones? Is it quite unique? Is it one that's maybe a bit unsung? Is it overrated? Please do let me know. I'm always willing to learn. I'm always happy to get the opinions of others. Okay, so let's move on. Right, so here's another album that I've not had a chance to listen to yet. I'm very familiar with the artist, but again, not had a chance to play it. I can think of one or two people who tune in to me. One of whom is a very dear friend of mine, if indeed he is tuning into this video, who I think will very much approve of me finally getting my hands on a record by this artist, and that is Joni Mitchell. And the record, as you can see, is Court and Spark from 1974. There we go, 1974, yeah, written on the bottom here. So if anyone's got any information on it you wish to share, please do. Not had a chance to listen to it yet, but there you go, got the inner there with the lyrics printed. Nice picture of Joni there too. But yeah, I've loved what I've heard of Joni Mitchell. Very limited. I do love the Hissing of Summer Lawns. Now that I rate incredibly highly from 1975. Um, I've heard Blue in the past. I had that on CD. Probably didn't spend as much time with it as I should have done, but I do know Blue very well. And yeah, again for me, Joni is definitely an artist I need to explore in more detail. But I am very quickly and very steadily rectifying that. So I'm very much looking forward to giving Court and Spark a try. I don't know where it ranks amongst her discography with fans of Joni. Again, is it an acclaimed one? Is it a bit of a, you know, an outlier? Please do let me know. But it's here now, and it's in the collection, and it's here to stay. And all these ones here that I've shown you from, you know, the Whitesnate records onwards, these are definite keepers. These are ones that have piqued my interest, the ones that I feel like I want to keep hold of, and they're all catalogued and filed away now, so they're not going anywhere. Okay, so I've just got a few left to show. Is it? Yeah, three. Yeah, three left to show. Okay, so I have listened to this one here. I was really intrigued by it. I'm a huge fan of the guitarist who was in this group. He was a founding member of this group, so I did give it a play. I loved it. I love the vibe of it. Again, I've talked a lot about vibe today because I do think there's a lot of vibe driven albums here. I mean, you could argue that about every album having a vibe to it, but when I mention the word vibe, when I'm using it as a descriptor, it's because it conjures vibes that I particularly enjoy and get on board with. So this one here was pretty gentle. It was quite, I'd say it's very traditional folk, acoustic driven, but there's some great lead guitar playing electric towards the end. And there was a big, huge jam on it that kind of took me by surprise right towards the end of it. There's a spoken word track as well. It's just a cappella that's at the beginning of the album. But I'm still getting used to track names and stuff because I've only given it the spin the one time, and I'd never listened to it before. And this is actually the first album by this group that I've ever experienced, but really loved it. So the next one coming up here, we've got Pentangle with Cruel Sister, and that guitarist that I was talking about, who I'm a huge fan of, but I've only got a collection of his, is Bert Jansch, brilliant guitarist, absolute virtuoso, great player, big influence on a lot of my favourite players such as Bernard Butler and Johnny Marr. But yeah, did enjoy this one a great deal, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing it again. So let's just show you Pentangle here. So we've got all the lyrics and stuff there. Just try and get that in. There we go. So yeah, if you've not heard of these guys, like I mentioned, very traditional folk. Great musicianship throughout. Loved the I love the female vocals on here as well. Let me just remind myself of a name. Right, so yeah, just credited here is Jackie on vocals, and we've got John on vocal acoustic guitar, electric guitar. Bert Jansch on here throughout. He plays acoustic guitar, recorder. He sings on a couple here as well. Just yeah, really good. Really enjoyed it a lot. So I'm definitely going to be putting that on again soon. Cruel Sister, quite a nice discovery for me, that one. Really nice big thick vinyl here as well. So let me see if I can remind myself of a couple of the ones that I really enjoyed. Yeah, when I was in my prime, I really liked a lot. Cruel Sister as well, which is obviously the title track. I did enjoy a lot on side one. Closes off, and then side two. Yeah, that was the big jam. Yeah, Jack Orion. Yeah, brilliant. Really enjoyed that. Yeah, it takes up. Yeah, I forgot it just takes up whole side two. Yeah, that starts bringing in some more power into proceedings, and with a slightly higher volume, and electric instruments as well. But yeah, great, really good. Really happy with that one. So I need to definitely spend a bit more time with that, and then I can talk about it in a bit more detail with a little bit more knowledge. But I'm clearly talking about it there as a person who's only listened to it once, but really nice, and very happy now to have that as part of the job lot. So you can see it's quite a rich and varied selection of different types of music, given that they were all in the one lot. Okay, so here's the penultimate one. These haven't been done in any order, by the way, in case you're wondering. These have just all been done purely alphabetically today. So again, here's another group that so iconic and legendary, but I've only ever really chosen to focus on one part of the band's career or existence in any great detail, apart from one or two albums. But again, I've got so much to explore with this group, and again, I'm just sort of trying to get there slowly but surely. So coming up now, record from 1977, we have got Pink Floyd with Animals. So of course, the era that I'm talking about that I'm more familiar with is the Syd Barrett era. Piper at the Gates of Dawn is one of my favourite records of all time. That is certainly one that I would say was one of the greats of 1967. I mean, Dark Side of the Moon and Wish You Were Here aside, I have got so much catching up to do really with Pink Floyd. I recently acquired The Wall, so you can please go and have a look at that in one of my videos. A little bit of a hunt for you if you wish to accept that. So go and have a look at where I talked about The Wall. And now I've got Animals as well, so I'm beginning to kind of slowly build up some records of Pink Floyd's that are post Wish You Were Here. So yeah, I've never listened to it. To be really honest, that could be again a huge shocker to a lot of you, but I've never listened to this record before. I don't ever remember playing it in any of the record shop, or say any of them. I only worked at one independent retailer, and then I worked at HMV as well for a couple of years. So I've worked at two record shops in my time, with the independent one. That experience being, without a shadow of a doubt, the greatest experience of all. It's my favourite job of all time. I wasn't at HMV very long at all, and that was just a stopgap until I'd finished my university degree, and then I went straight into a job as a reporter at the local news group. So whereas my time at the Independent was much longer, and yeah, one of the greatest times in my life. But going off topic here, the point I'm making is that I didn't ever listen to Pink Floyd, certainly Animals at the shop. We might have put other bits and bobs on, but I don't think we ever put Animals on. Or if it was, I just wasn't paying attention. So yeah, I haven't got any frame of reference as to what to say about it, other than please do let me know, everybody out there, how you rate it within Pink Floyd's discography. You know, is it one that you enjoy? Is it one that is it a bit of a misstep for them? Is it very much a positive step? Do you let me know? I'm very intrigued to play it. I just haven't found the right moment or time to play it yet. I mean, obviously, I'm aware of the iconic front cover there. Battersea Power Station with the floating pig. I think everybody pretty much knows about the history of the artwork and stuff. But in my position, just need to catch up with the music now. So yeah, obviously I can see it's called Animals because all the tracks are named after animals. Got pigs on the wing, dogs, pigs, sheep, pigs on the wing too as well. So yeah, I've got some gaps to fill, haven't I, in my knowledge, but I'm getting there. I'm doing what I can. Okay, so there's Animals by Pink Floyd. Right, and then the final record in the lot from the cellar down in Norwich. We have got a lovely, lovely album. Not listened to my vinyl copy of it yet, but I have heard it before in the past, definitely heard it before. But I never had it on CD, and now I'm very pleased to have it on vinyl. From 1969, we have got the debut album by Santana. So the unmistakable, Latin rhythms and beats of Santana. Absolutely gorgeous guitar tone, by the way. Carlos Santana has really, really beautiful tone. Love his playing. Some instrumentals stuff on here as well, and then we've got Carlos. He's quoted or rather attributed here with guitar and vocals. Mike Caravello on conga and percussion, Dave Brown on bass, Jose Chapito Arias on timbales, conga and percussion, Mike Shreve on drums, Greg Rowley piano, organ and vocals as well. And then it's been produced by Brent Dangerfield and Santana. So yeah, looking forward to reacquainting myself with this one. Again, not listened to my copy yet, but the record itself looks to be in really lovely nick. There's the inner sleeve there for that one. There you go. It's a helpfully called inner sleeve. Yeah, so favourite tracks on here. Evil Ways I do enjoy a lot on side one. You Just Don't Care as well, I like a lot on side two. And yeah, Soul Sacrifice actually rings a bell as well from when I played it in the past, the closer. But yeah, there's just some really, really nice, again, it's a vibe. It really is, that one. So if you're into your sort of jazzy, it's jazz of a certain type. It's not, I suppose it's jazzy in a sense, but there's also like a lot of, like a bit of a psychedelic rock tinge to this one as well. Very sort of warm and rich sounding, I would say. The production is very, very sensitively handled, and just quite a warm sound when you play it. Again, maybe similar to Dr. John in the sense that when I put this one on, I feel like there's a bit of a heat to it, like in a really affecting way. I mean, especially when you're listening to something like this on like a damp, grim, northern night, and you want to sort of lift your spirits up a little bit, then I think putting something on like Santana or the Dr. John record I mentioned before, Gris-Gris, might just be a nice way to break that sort of monotony of the cold weather outside. Kind of feels a bit exotic, something a bit fresh and a bit vibrant, something different to get you in the mood, and just click your fingers and tap your toes. This one, it's just got a really lovely flavour to it, and again, coming out in 1969, it's just got that absolute essence of the 60s. sort of buried deep into its grooves. So very, very fortunate, very lucky to have that one. And having that one now means that I've now got the first 3 Santana albums in my vinyl collection. So very, very pleased indeed to kind of finish that little trilogy off there. And, hoping to acquire some future Santana albums in the future. Did I say future twice then? I think I did. Right, okay, so that's me all done. So if you're still here with me, thank you very, very much indeed. I really do appreciate you being here, and I do hope that you enjoyed looking at what I had to show you today in my vinyl job lot. Yeah, it was a lot of fun doing that. So all I would say to anybody who's new to the channel is if you did like what I did today, then please do consider giving the video a thumbs up. It would mean a lot to me if you did. It does help to support the channel, and it just helps to raise my sort of awareness or profile, if you will, within YouTube. I know there's no obligation to do that, but it does mean a lot if people are tuning in and they do like what I'm doing, so please give it a thumbs up. And in relation to that, if people wish to consider subscribing to me as well, that would be wonderful. So at the time of recording, I've currently got 385 subscribers. I've been going for just under a year, and I am now looking to hit that 400 milestone. So if anybody would be kind enough to subscribe to me, then that would be wonderful if you did. I really appreciate it. And should you choose to take that step, then don't forget to click the notification bell, and that will give you a heads up when I've got all my future content landing. That would mean a lot, and then you can just keep abreast of what I'm up to. And as always, I love the comments section in my videos. I love interacting with all you brilliant people out there, people that are taking the time to watch me. It really means a lot. Please do share your thoughts and feelings on what I've shown today. I love getting into these chats and learning so much more about music, sharing our mutual appreciation of things, and maybe as well, I always enjoy it when people, chat to me and they might have a different take on stuff as well. I find that really interesting to get into that. So, please do come forward with any opinions and thoughts that you've got. And it's always lovely as well when I see other people conversing as well, away from addressing anything directly to me. I always encourage people to have their own conversations as well. So yeah, it's a really, really nice thing to be doing the videos and the channel, and I'm really enjoying it. So hopefully it won't be too long until I'm back again. I've got a few ideas now that I've got percolating, and some of it have been very carefully sort of considered for a while now, and I'm just trying to think about how I go about doing them. And then some of them as well have been put forward by very kind and very generous members of the community. I've had a few really lovely ideas put my way, and I have made a note of them. So I just need to get my bits and pieces together at my end and make those videos happen. So until next time, thank you very, very much, everybody. Take care, and bye for now.